So they are obsessed with food. So they're eating. In the meantime, they get pregnant. And they're still eating. And then they have their babies. They're still eating, and now they're sharing their eating with their babies. Whereas maybe this adult didn't start off eating like this, but their babies have been eating like this since pre-birth, being with large amounts of food. So that's why it's so.
Well, see, I don't know how that works. See, now what you're talking about now, as far as because the mother's eating, so the baby's consuming what she's eating in the womb.
Mm-hmm.
See, I don't know how that works.
And then when the baby's born, the mom has developed this huge appetite, or the dad or the family.
So she has the baby. So you're telling me that the baby has to eat the way the mother is?
That's what they have. They feed the baby what they have. Okay.
So the baby eats every time she eats.
Yeah.
That's amazing to me.
So then if a mom is eating all this food and stuff, then the
Okay.
children, so that's why the children are growing, whereas the parents.
So she's been so you're literally passing obesity on to your child.
Exactly.
Hello? See that?
Ah.
Always get a raggedy fall. Hello? He's not here right now. Call back about 5 o'clock. He said he'll be back. Alright. Now they look for Jesse over here. That might be work for.
Good.
Yes, I had no idea about that. Now, is that medically sound data?
We can go back and look at the research, because all the junk we have today, you have to know that 20 years ago, we didn't, as time goes on, we acquire more and more junk in our food.
Right.
We go back 20, 40 years, the farthest you go back, the less junk we have. The more junk we have, the more obesity problem that we have. And the more junk you have, the more you have to eat, the more people will eat. So when we started off eating like normal meals, because before people didn't eat all throughout the day. We have people in the U.S. who consider snacking on sausage a snack, whereas in another country or someplace else, a healthier person will snack on nuts, grapes, raisins, and fruits. Whereas here, you'll snack on wings, snack on bites of Polish, or you're eating a snack on the potato chips or the hot spicy chips. All of these chemically treated foods and all these meats. This is the snack. That's not a snack.
Well, that's what the African woman told Jessie. She said she would not eat red meat at all. She would not eat any red. And she was shocked when he said he eat it. So she would not eat it. They would not eat it on there when she was there.
Right. So we and then we have this in other countries. For example, in Paris. By the way, I see us in Paris. Okay, so I see all of us there. In Paris, they have, if you go there, they have a very light breakfast, tea. This American breakfast, this is in the U.S. we eat this big breakfast. They have tea and maybe some bread or something like that. That's their breakfast. That's it. And maybe some cereal, and that's it. When I was living there, I had, like in the morning, I had tea. Tea and a little toast to dip it in tea. That was the breakfast. And then for lunch, you'll have a meal, but the meal, you can still see the plate. Then for dinner, you'll have a small serving, and that was it. If you go out to any restaurants, they are only open for dinner and lunch. If you go in between that time, you only get like tea and maybe a little biscuit. It's here, we have restaurants that's open all day.
And by the way, it's important to point out that they don't have a problem with that.
Right.
Because that's the culture.
Right. And when I took people, friends came over to Europe to visit me, and they sat down to have a meal, and they ordered a meal, and they give you the French, they have like the little vegetables here and a little here, and they have the baguettes there and a little piece of meat. So you see the majority of the plate. Americans are used to not seeing the plate. We don't want to see the bottom of the plate. We want to see food. And not only that, we want to see it piled high. You will not go to a function in Europe. I have never went to a function and seen people with their plates piled high like we would find here in the U.S. It's just not seen. You won't see it. It's not done. This is like the smorgasbord's all you can eat. You know, you're encouraging people, stuff yourselves.
Right. Well, it becomes the norm.
And it has become the norm. So if you go to a place and someone has a little bit food on the plate, you think, what's wrong with that person? You know, why is he eating like that? If I go to some place and they might have a layout of food, of course I'm going toward the fresh end. If they have it, sometimes they might not have it. But a lot of times if they know I'm coming, they'll present a fresh end for me. So I'll go and have a couple of little tomatoes and cucumbers and carrots and grapes, and that's it. That's on my plate. So I'll come and sit next to somebody who has their plate with cornbread and beans and this and sweet potatoes are all piled up in
But
3 inches
Doc,
high.
that's why I say, Doc, you have to give. So I'm gonna tell you something, Doc. I think you're kind of hard on people.
Hmm?
I mean, far as to arrive at where you at, it takes a. Over there, no, it's the norm. But over here, when people are conditioned to eat bad, it takes a tremendous amount of this. This is the mindset in regard to me being able to do this, because the mindset here is you can't change from the way it is here to another type of lifestyle.
Right, and
And when they look at my son, oh, he's gone too far.
Mhm.
It's no hope for him. He's too big. So they know how long they know what type of appetite it takes
That's right.
to arrive at my present physical configuration. So they, and which I understand, and I think that it's at those junctures that the product should be talked about.
Yeah.
It's the product. It's the grace of God. It's prayer that fills the gap. And what happens is it puts everything in perspective.
Yes, it does.
Because what happens is, well, how do you truly feel about prayer? He prayed. She prayed. She prayed about the product she got when she got it, and he prayed to be fit. So all of a sudden, it's more reflective, as opposed to me being able to do this. It's more, well, what type of relationship do you have with God?
Yeah. And believe it or not, all these functions that I went to,
Are they Christian? I mean,
yes, it was
Oh, I
church
know.
function. We'll go
I
and sit
know.
down, and I'll sit down there, not conscious of what's going on, and everybody will like look at my plate, and then they'll start making excuses, and so now it gets to the point that when I go and sit down, I'll just choose a chair and just go and sit or stand somewhere, just stay away from them because you bring on this huge guilt complex. You don't have to be you don't have to be guilty in front of me. Because it's up to you.
I wouldn't stop doing it, Doc.
No, I go, but you don't feel guilty around
Well, I know,
me.
but I'm saying, I think, man, somebody as well said man experience guilt because he's guilty. Let him experience the guilt, Doc.
So you should see
Right?
every time everybody just like, they will come and they
But
will.
if you're guilty, Chad, if you feel guilt, it's only because you're guilty.
Why do you feel guilty?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
Why is it because of what she got on her plate makes you feel guilty?
That's what I wanna know.
Only because you know that you're eating.
Where does the guilt come from?
Well, there it is. I agree with you. And see, I think that a lot of things that God be trying to do with and through you in regard to touching those areas that as human beings we can't, you somewhat deter. And I think you do it through analyzing. You're analytical. You're a doctor. Y'all data and dry data and all that all the time. Listen, let me tell you something. If God would have whooped somebody, let him whoop them. Yeah, who are you? I mean, somebody as well said, pain is a skillful teacher. It is only the glimpses that I have seen in myself
You'd like to finish the sentence.